Hej, siemanko, ludziska z tej strony, witam was serdecznie w kolejnym odcinku z gameplayem z trailerami. Zaczynamy od ludziska, no właśnie, od czego tutaj zaczynamy? O ile się nie mylę, jest to gra od Nintendo generalnie na Nintendo Switcha. I jest to Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, więc co? Zobaczmy.
There once was a mysterious mansion full of spooky ghosts. And a reluctant
Magdum.
hero named Luigi, who's been invited
Luigi.
to investigate.
Where's Luigi?
This is his story.
To mokry już jestem.
Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. At his disposal is a powerful invention called the Poltergust 5000.
Zużyjesz wszystkiego najlepszego, Magnum?
Shines his light on a ghost
Urodzinki, imieninki, czy co tam?
then suck it up. Or he can go for multiple stubborn specters at once.
I które, panie, które?
While the mansion's occupants ask
Ach, imieninki masz, łe, to zacnie.
some are experts
To jeszcze raz, wszystkiego najlepszego.
equipped to
Dużo zdrówka i pieniążków.
some get a little too wrapped up in chasing Luigi down.
Głupie mumie.
Others can trap Luigi in their gelatinous guts. These ghosts have all sorts of tricks to interfere in
Za 1,5 miesiąca będą urodzinki. To już sun. Jeszcze 1,5 miesiąca to... I nie ma.
Luigi will actually explore a variety of mansions.
Variety Mansions.
A withering botanical lab. Haunted towers. Ugh. A mechanical factory. Old clockworks. Tick-tock.
Go faster.
Snowy quarry called the Secret Mine.
Da.
Luigi will come face to face with alarming apparitions,
Pięknie,
odd
pięknie.
occurrences, and terrifying traps. But the trusty Poltergust has his back. It can open hidden passages in seemingly dead ends,
Beautiful.
activate certain devices with the strobe bulb, and
Nie no, ja do swoich imieninek i urodzin to mam... Jezus, jeszcze pół roku.
dark light device that can reveal even more secrets.
W sumie nawet niecałe pół roku.
What awaits
W listopadzie
our Luigi?
imieninki, a w styczniu urodzinki.
Mystifying mansions.
No. Dun.
He's not always alone, though. Up to 4 players can work together in Scarescraper. Missions include catching all the baddies, hidden throughout each floor,
Catch me, daddy.
puzzling out the secret exit within the time limit, following paw prints to catch polterpups.
Polterpups.
Together to take on even more
Okay.
difficult ghosts and traps as you make your way up the Scarescraper.
A trochę tak tacy jak pogromcy duchów, nie?
Luigi must face his fears
Luigi.
to stop ghosts, illuminate the dark, and uncover mysteries in the Luigi's Mansion 2 HD game. Available June 27th, only on the Nintendo Switch system.
Pięknie. The Alters. Official What If. Pięknie. Kiedy właśnie Altersi wychodzą? Musimy zobaczyć.
What if I never left my hometown?
Wrzesień. Także w wrześniu sobie na pewno popykamy w Altersy, zobaczymy. Czym się je ich, bo to polski produkt, nie szukajmy się.
You could have been there with her when she, you know, had a chance to tell her that.
A ostatnio właśnie jest charbka na polskie tytuły. Musimy jeszcze wrócić do Cyberpunka.
Everything for my work.
Jeszcze raz inną ścieżką grać, ograć DLC-ka.
What if you never broke
No i
up with
wiesiek
Lena?
na Next Genie, nie?
Well, you could have walked through life with so
Oj, dużo,
much
ludziska, dużo.
living two lives instead of one. Two lives. One is already full of choices and regrets, just like that thing with Dad. What if I had the courage to stand up to him? Maybe it would bring you even more pain.
More
Back on my life, there are so many things I could have done differently. Chances that I wish I didn't lose. People that I wish I didn't reject. Words that I wish I could take back. But if I could see the outcomes of the choices
Możliwości są nieskończone.
what if only then I would truly regret them? What if?
I could alter them all. Jest. Spoko. Apex Legends Double Take Collection Event.
As a medic, your job is to help people. But I know the truth of this world. That death finds a way.
Time to rise and shine, skin bags.
We all kill Kapatid. I just really, really enjoy it.
They're shooting at me.
Getting your shield in.
Ooh, that's got a kick.
I'm here to break the game.
Eyes open! Even in the wind!
Too slow.
Order, sunny side up.
What do you say we give them something showy?
Cosmetics.
Coming in hot.
No.
Nie. Denied.
Watch me. Life is meant to die. I know that now. Now hold still, you hear?
Jest.
Might hurt a bit.
Wy szczęśliwe życie. Pięknie. Pięknie.
John, I'd
Dune,
love to
Awakening.
discuss a bit of a more technical aspect, of course. Dune Awakening, it's a survival game, it's an MMO. Two different game types, which I'm sure on the back and front end have to be treated differently. How does the player experience those different aspects from a server infrastructure point of view?
Yeah, so a lot of survival games are either you have solo games like Subnautica, you have these like local server 8-player sort of Valheim style games. Then you have larger single server like Conan Exiles or Ark. You have large sort of players on a single map. And then with Dune, what we're trying to do is have these multiple maps where you can play with many, many hundreds of people, right? So you'll be playing with lots of other players, right? So it is a large world to explore and share with others.
Can I assume I am in a server with many, many people. Can I move between servers, or can I group up with people on different servers? Is that possible?
Yeah, so when players start to play Dune Awakening, they choose a world. And that world allows them to, it's almost like choosing a server in an MMORPG. But it's a large infrastructure of connected servers, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But the idea is that as a player, you choose, you join, you start in a map, and from there, your experience should be relatively seamless in terms of how you explore and feel the world. The difference between the reason we call it a survival MMO as opposed to just a survival game is that most survival games do one map, one server, but we have multiple connected servers, right, in a single world. So this is kind of where we come from, and it also allows us to have a lot more players in this structure.
So how many people am I playing with on like one server, or rather even, can I play with people from other servers? Can I group up with them? Can I be in a guild with them?
Absolutely, you can be in
Nice.
a guild with people across servers. There's no problem there. Within your world, you can join a guild with anybody, right? When you join the game, you start in a server which is a Hager Basin, right? We call it the Hager Basin. The Hager Basin is the starting server. It's a server with a minimum of 40 other players. It's a place where you can build, craft, survive, progress. If you want to play specifically with friends, you want to join the same version of Hager Basin, because Hager Basin can have multiple versions. And then from there, you move outwards.
I can select which Hager Basin I'm starting with. So like if we start in the game at the same time, I can make sure that we're spawning in the same.
And not
O,
only that,
co jest
our
grane?
server also tells you where
Halo.
your friends are playing.
Okay.
Co to za
perfect.
So
przerwa?
it tells
O
you
Jezus
exactly
Maria.
who's on which server, so which dimension,
Kilagi.
which areas, so you'll know.
Okay,
Potato
so there's
PC.
different areas, different servers, different maps on said servers. How do I traverse between maps?
So once you're ready to leave the Hager Basin, you craft yourself an ornithopter, for example, and you fly out into what's called the Overland map. And the Overland map is a server, again, running, that you can meet hundreds of other players on, and allows you to see all the locations in the world. So you physically fly between locations on the Overland map.
Now you said my homies can come and pick me up. If you're a good homie and you don't want to put me in a dangerous spot, where do you bring me early on? Where can I meet other people? Where can I meet up with my guildmates even?
Yeah, so once you've sort of explored the Hager Basin and you leave with your friends, you go out into what we call the Overland map. And in the Overland map, you have an overview of the entire world, and you can sort of see like the different maps that you have as an option. And one of those options are the social hubs, Harko Village and Arakeen, which are differently themed based on the different factions in the game, obviously, right?
Okay.
So you can go and visit Harko Village. It's a safe space. It's kept fairly
A, czy to są takie jakieś save zony,
by the Canley piece.
w których mogą gracze się spotykać i pewnie ten kupować, sprzedawać, wymieniać się.
You know, and of course you and your friends can go dancing if you want in the club.
Właśnie. Jakieś inne aktywności również.
Did not expect that to be part
Spoko.
of the game, but you know, you gotta relax every once in a while as well. Now, once I'm done dancing and I slept off my probably hangover, I want to get out into the action. Where am I going?
So then you'll go back to the Overland map and you'll fly to the Deep Desert. The Deep Desert is this massive area. It's 500 kilometers squared, or minimum 500 kilometers squared. It's actually a bit larger than that. There's, and that's where you can meet hundreds of other players. There is probably going to obviously be a player cap if too many people go there, but you should be able to handle quite a lot of people. And that's a completely seamless set of servers that are all connected together. It's generally a PvP map with a strip of PvE as people enter so that they can be safe when they come into the map and don't get ganked. And then you head out into the desert and you have these adventures where you're harvesting spice. The cool thing about the Deep Desert, and this is one of the things that I think I've mentioned last time, is kind of unique, is that we have this thing called the Coriolis Storm. And every week the Coriolis Storm wipes the Deep Desert and resets it with a new landscape and new points of interest. So it's an infinitely explorable space.
Okej, fajnie to wygląda.
With your friends.
I do love that. It really sounds like a very unique blend of different elements from different types of games that you combined here together. I'm super interested to see how that all plays out.
Spoko. Spoko, ładnie opowiadali o tym. Ale też nie koniec Dune. Dzisiaj akurat odcineczek mocno pod znakiem Dune. Właśnie.
In Dune, Paul uses the Fremen prophecy of the Messiah as a tool for survival, right? He sees the path ahead, he sees the consequences of this decision, but he has to push forward because all the other path leads to chaos and to the end of his family's legacy. Your story is also one of survival, but
Najlepsze jest to, że laska ma fajną myszkę, jak klawiaturę ma do dupy.
and you'll have to embrace the chaos instead of avoiding it. As a part of the story of Dune Awakening, you will have the opportunity to explore and experience the religious and spiritual journeys of many of the people you will come across. Our Arrakis is still the harsh, unforgiving planet created to train the faithful, but Jessica's decision to bear a daughter, Ariste, instead of Paul, has created an entirely different political environment for you to navigate. You will have to evolve in a world in turmoil, a world with no clear dominant force that is embroiled in a long and exhausting war of assassins. This power vacuum is breeding instability, but also opportunity for many, including you, the player. Arrakis is a crucible from
Kiedy
which
wychodzi?
many factions and groups and sects have splintered
Nie ma
and
głosu
spread
jeszcze.
and festered, each with its own set of beliefs and waging a war against each other, fighting for their own little patch of desert. Like, for example, the Masquerade, who are a cult of religious fanatics who have copied and twisted even the Fremen way of life. As a player, you may not be the Messiah, but the spice will still guide you in your journey. You will have to learn the ways of the desert by following the teachings left by the Fremen and undergo the mystical trials of Akal. Because for the Fremen, learning to survive Arrakis is already in itself a spiritual awakening, a spiritual journey. Villeneuve's movies have shown us the danger of taking up the mantle of a spiritual leader. They have shown us the power that comes from it, but also the damage it can cause. This story, however, has already been told. Yours has yet to be written.
Nice. Dobra, no co jeszcze ciekawego usłyszymy? No ja generalnie nie czytałem książek Dune. Szczerze powiedziawszy, oglądałem tylko filmy. Grałem w gierki. No ale to może być dosyć ciekawe, nie? Survival MMO. Kto wie? Kto wie? I znowu Dune.
Now I have the utmost pleasure of welcoming back Joel for a quick chat. It's great to have you here again.
Thank you very much for inviting me back.
Of course. Obviously, Paul does not exist in this alternate timeline, or rather alternate history. That is huge. Please walk us through the thought process of that.
Oh.
Sure. So when we started working on the game, we knew that we wanted to have different factions. We wanted to have it set on Arrakis. And Paul, as a character, casts a shadow over everything that happens there. He's such an important figure to the universe. And we were looking for, like, how can we bring players in, make them feel like they have some agency in this world and they're not just going to join Paul.
Czyli zrobić alternatywną linię czasu.
Looked in the timeline, we worked
Z żeńską wersją.
the Herbert Estate and Legendary.
Dobre.
We found like a moment where Jessica made a choice about the child she was going to give birth to. And in our timeline, she gives birth to that daughter. And that changes everything, right? Paul not being there creates this real vacuum of power on the planet. There's still a lot of the same events occur because Duke Leto was still.
Ale jeszcze może być trzecia linia.
Force of elite fighters that made the Emperor jealous, which
Bliźniaki.
make a deal with the Harkonnens, which made the Atreides still end up on Arrakis. But then because of the events that Jessica chose, she is now more tied to the Bene Gesserit faction, and they have trained her as a truthsayer, and she has the recognition of Yue's betrayal.
Jakby były bliźniaki, to taki typowy podkołpa, nie? Takie kobello, nie? Ale to jest MMO, więc są tylko dwie.
Which means that they don't get wiped out.
Ale jakby to był single,
leads to these major factions being in conflict on the
why not, nie?
Let's talk about Lady Jessica's decision then, which, started the whole thing here. Obviously, with her complying to the Bene Gesserit rule of having a daughter, why did she even make that decision in the first place?
Well, she's always been torn in her loyalties, right? She came to the Duke, and she fell in love with the Duke, but she also had the agenda of the Bene Gesserit in her mind, right? And then there's the other side of course, that the Duke never made her his wife, and she has to make a decision. And of course, in the book, she made the Paul decision. In our game, she made the Ariste decision, and that. I think that people are very complex, and she had these very complex ideas going on, and so torn in her loyalties. In this case, she chose the Bene Gesserit.
So let's talk about Arista's you know, part of the story then? Is she taking up Paul's mantle, or is she just a completely different? I mean, she is a completely different person. What's her agenda? What's her spiel?
I mean, Aristae has her own path to walk, right? And the path of the Lisan al-Gaib and the Kuzat's Haderach is not available to her, and it doesn't happen, you know, because events don't play out the same way. She doesn't end up in a situation where she has to face any of that. So she is a precocious girl. She grew up with the Bene Gesserit training that her mother would have given to Paul, the Mentat training that Thufir would have given.
No i ogrywanie tą ścieżką może być dosyć ciekawe, nie?
Duncan Idaho training her, and the great troubadour Gurney Halleck teaching her. So she has a lot of.
Mówię, bo skoro to będzie MMO, to będziemy mieli
but she finds herself in a very different
wybór, nie? Albo gramy Paulem, albo gramy nią, nie? Chyba, że tylko nią będziemy grali, ale to tak w sumie bez sensu, nie?
Marries the heir of House Harkonnen in order to create their Kuzat's Haderach.
Do hate that for her, I'm not gonna lie.
so Aristae ends up under a completely different set of pressures, right? And that leads to a very different sort of life for her.
So yeah, obviously with the Duke as well as the Baron both being alive, what's happening to Arrakis, to our beautiful planet here? Who has fiefdom over it? What's the situation?
So after the war, or after the Battle of Arrakeen, when the Harkonnen attacked, Duke Leto petitions the Landsraad, and the Emperor decrees that the war can continue on the surface of Arrakis, but it has to be contained there. So he says it's fine for them to fight as long as they're there, but he also declares that spice still has to flow freely. So he sends the Sardaukar to police the spice harvesting operations and make sure that spice still flows out of Arrakis and into the Imperium, because it's such an important resource.
So looking at Arrakis, in the trailer it does say at the very end, you know, the Fremen being, they're gone essentially. Are they gone, or are we like figuring out where they went? Where are we at?
I think that's the central mystery of the entire game, right? The Fremen are missing. Imperium propaganda would say that they've been exterminated, but we have our doubts. So as a player, a part of the core story that you'll be following as a player is find the Fremen. And as you play through the world, you walk in the footsteps, you find the places where the Fremen once were, you explore their rites, you explore their culture, but where are the Fremen? And can you one day find them? I'm not going to answer that question, but that's part of what the story is all about.
But their cultural impact is still very much felt as I'm traversing through Arrakis.
Both their impact, like both the remnants of what they left behind when they left the abandoned Sieges and things like that, but also the vacuum of power, right? Because the Fremen that was their territory, and they were extremely fierce about defending it. And with them not in the area, other people have started to fill in the gaps.
I do want to talk about the impact that story and narrative has, though, on Dune Awakening, because it is a survival MMO. If we're looking at the survival part, usually the extent of story in a survival game is, oh no, your plane crashed. Oh no, you're shipwrecked. Oh no, it's an apocalypse. Figure it out. Clearly, that is not the case for Dune Awakening. There is a lot of story to be explored for the players.
Absolutely. I think like we want to give players a clear journey to follow in the game, right? So they can explore the world, and they have this backbone story thread that they're following through as well. If they're interested. If they're not interested, they don't have to care that much about it, right? It's there. But you follow a fairly in-depth story, and it's kind of always plans within plans. You know, so you're always having to think about what people actually want and what the motivation is. Like, why are you looking for the Fremen? Is it a really important question that you should probably ask yourself as a player? Like, what exactly have you been sent to do this for? And I think these kind of elements provide a little more motivation for players as they explore the world.
I do love that. What are your thoughts here generally? I mean, obviously by creating an alternate history and timeline, lots of different moving pieces, can we still expect to see similar beats that, you know, we know and love from the books or the movies?
Absolutely. I think that just because Paul doesn't exist, a lot of the factions have the agendas that they had, right? And they're still trying to achieve the things that they were trying to achieve even when Paul did exist, right? In his universe. So you will encounter, first of all, characters who maybe would have died in the books due to certain events. they're present in the game. You'll also encounter factions trying to achieve
O,
goals,
ładny
but in a
koncept.
slightly different way because they don't have to account for the pull element, right? So for players, it's great because I think Dune fans should get a kick out of exploring the way that the thought experiment of like, okay, if Paul's not here, what is here, and what are people trying to do, right? And I think that kind of leads to very interesting consequences as you play.
Yeah, I love the far-reaching consequences that has into the future of the game as well. We talked last time already about, you know, respecting the source material, which there is so much to draw from with the books and the movies. How do you make sure when you're creating an alternate history, that's a big step. How do you make sure that you're not veering too far away from that source material?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a matter of like taking the source material as always the starting point, like being able to extrapolate out in ways that are like as logical as possible, and being able to say, look, I started here at point A, and my conclusion is yes, I'm here at point B, and because of the old history, this makes a lot of sense as a logical conclusion. So we start there. Then of course we have like our partners at Legendary and the Herbert Estate who can keep us grounded and keep us in line with what we should be doing, right? So we run a lot of our stuff by them for fact checking. Like we have this ridiculously long timeline document that we've written, and I think it's like 10,000 words of just timeline. And then we've shared that to get it approved by the Herbert Estate and things like that. So we do our research, and we always start with the source material.
And I mean, I think it's pretty clear from everything you've said, from everything we got to see thus far, that there's a lot of love and respect for the Herbert's writing, for the source material we're also seeing from the movie. So I know for sure that the game is in very good hands with you guys, Joe.
Thank you. I mean, I will say the one thing that we try to do is just make sure that we preserve the legacy. And part of the reason for doing an alternate timeline is that we don't want to step on what's been created that's amazing. We want to do the sideways thing and not actually ruin any of the canon over there.
And it's honestly so smart, because in doing so, you now opened up this whole new alternate timeline for everyone.
Okay. Whew. To też nie koniec. Dune.
Hello, my name is Nizreboy, and I'm a producer here at the creative team at Funcom. Today I'll be walking you through the first moments of Dune Awakening, character creation, where we find out who you are and what you look like. Let's take a look.
O, okej.
Here we have our character creation screen. Expression and customization is one of our key pillars in Dune Awakening, and that starts here. There's a lot of customization options available for you, but if you want a starting off point, or just want to move past the customization and straight into gameplay, you can make use of some of the preset character looks we've got available. If you're like me and like making your own character from scratch, however, then there's plenty of options for you to play with. You can change your body type and your general body shape, tweaking anything from height to the thickness of your arms or legs to adding freckles or even vitiligo.
A jest torso?
There's too many small details for me to delve into all of them, but it's safe to say that if you love sliders, we've got plenty of them. Apart from being able to tweak the minute details of your nose or your mouth, you can even affect your age. Look at that. Looks great to me. The other classics like hair, beards, and eyebrows all have different choices for you to make or affect. But on top of that, you can also add in tattoos and facial scars. We even let you choose how faded with age they've become. Play around a bit with our makeup options, and soon enough, I think you'll have a character you can enjoy exploring Arrakis with.
Lol.
Now that we've selected our physical appearance, we give our character a name and we continue, because we're more than just a pretty face. Customization is about more than just how you look. It's about who you are and where you come from.
Have they told you what I am? Then I will sift your words for lies. Let's begin.
Yes,
Where were you
mother.
born?
Your character's background affects how they get to interact with the people of Arrakis, giving you different dialogue options depending on who you are. For the sake of this video, we'll be choosing the home planet of the Atreides, Caladan.
A world of water. Home world of the Atreides.
Next, we determine your caste, where you belong in the strict hierarchies of the Imperium. We'll select Na Familia for now, belonging to the noble caste.
Did you give bad advice? Or make a bad deal? To be close to power is to walk the knife's edge. You had a mentor in your youth, trained by one of the schools. Who was your mentor?
Unlike the other choices, this gives us a starting ability, something we can use right as we boot into the game. Don't worry, you're not locking yourself into a class or a specific archetype.
Oh.
In Dune Awakening, we allow you to create your own playstyle. So if you want to combine Mentat abilities with those of the Bene Gesserit, all you need to do is find the right people to train you and choose the loadout that works best for you.
O,
For
okej,
right now,
spoko.
though, we'll choose the Mentat.
Come here. Kneel. Put your hand in the box. I hold at your neck the Gonjabal, the high hand.
Napisy są za małe.
Don't pull away or you will die. Great plots are afoot in the Imperium, and the currents of intrigue run deeply. Arrakis is the key, and the Fremen are missing. You will go to Arrakis as our agent, prisoner. You have one task. Find the Fremen, wake the sleeper. You will know when it is done.
Dun, 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 dun. Pięknie.
And with that cryptic message, your journey begins.
Pięknie. No, naprawdę zapowiada się dosyć ciekawie. Bym powiedział więcej niż dosyć. Warhammer 40 000 Space Marine 2 i na to też czekamy. Space Marine kiedy?
Welcome to Space Marine 2, the newest installment
9
of the
września.
Warhammer 40,000
No i
franchise.
wrześniu będzie napakowany.
Brought to you by Saber Interactive and Focus Entertainment. I'm Oliver Hollis-Lake, creative director on the project, and today I'm going to take you on a tour of the game's story, game modes, progression, and a whole lot more, giving you a taste of what's to come when the game releases on September 9th. Space Marine 2 is a third-person action shooter set in the grim, dark universe of Warhammer 40,000. The game's campaign mode allows you to experience this epic story either solo or with up to 3 players in co-op. Space Marine 2's story begins a century after the events of the first game. Captain Demetrian Titus is a genetically enhanced super soldier and hero of the Ultramarines.
We will eradicate your kind from the galaxy.
Titus is returned to the Ultramarines,
You're a lieutenant now.
where he is demoted to lieutenant
Will that be a problem? No, Captain.
and forced to prove his loyalty in the heat of battle. On a distant world, he must face one of humanity's most fearsome adversaries, the Tyranids.
Pięknie.
Take control of Titus and his fellow battle brothers.
Ale to będzie rzeźnia.
You'll be thrown into the thick of a war of galactic proportions. Thanks to our unique swarm technology, allowing us to render hundreds of real enemies on screen at the same time. You'll face
Oj, optymalizacja na słabszych komputerach może posysać.
swooping enemies as far as the eye can see. You must repel the Tyranid invasion and rid the system of the Xenos threat, battling in the claustrophobic jungles of Kadaku, the majestic
No,
planet
chyba, że dociągną niesamowicie, no to...
and other epic locations.
Ciekawe, czy będzie możliwość zmniejszenia ilości zergów na ekranie.
You'll return to
Czyli
the battle
zergów, wiadomo o co chodzi.
a space fortress serving as the Ultramarines' orbital headquarters. Here you can gather crucial intel by interacting with onboard personnel. Review your next targets and tailor your loadout to your upcoming
No,
mission.
trochę ta mapa przypomina mi ten, z Aliena, kurde, nie?
Whether you prefer
Taki
close combat,
myślony.
ranged warfare, the
Ale tu już jest
Ultramarines' wide range of
zacnie.
offers an array of devastating weapons and unique special abilities.
To jest single, ewidentnie nie, to jest kooperacja też.
Balanced approach is certainly wise, since performing a brutal melee finisher
Muszę się zapytać, kto będzie chciał zagrać
and keeps you in the fight
z mojej
for long.
ekipy. Koopik? O kurde, sycość, nie zna granic.
Enemies of humanity with the iconic chainsword. Liquefy them with the melter rifle, or crush them with the mighty thunderhammer. How you vanquish the Tyranid invaders is entirely up to you.
Your duty is not yet done.
Operation... A nie, to są jakieś operacje.
You'll find Operations Mode. Here, the focus is on cooperation and replayability.
A można story mode w
Players
koopie?
will have 6 classes with unique skills and abilities. Then develop and customize them to make them your own. Whether you prefer the sniper's stealth cloak and long-range capabilities, the Vanguard's grapnel launcher, or the Bulwark's chapter banner and storm shield combination.
O, jest kampania kooperacyjna. To maksymalnie 3 osób.
Those of your squad mates will be decisive on the battlefield.
Okej.
The more missions you play, the more you'll unlock cosmetics for your Space Marine. You'll also earn XP and armory data that you can spend in the Battle Barge's armory to unlock new class perks and improve your armament's performance.
Eternal war demands eternal discipline.
If you're into more
Versus mode.
competitive challenges, well then you're in for a treat. Enter the fray in our Eternal War mode, where you'll be able to pit yourselves against other players. 6 Space Marines clash against 6 of their sworn Chaos adversaries in arenas inspired by the game's rich settings. Choose your preferred rule set, be it the intense Annihilation Deathmatch, strategic Seize Ground, or the exhilarating Capture and Control. Then engage in adrenaline-pumping matches that will test your skills against players from across the world. Each skirmish offers you the chance to earn more XP and add more weapons to your arsenal as you prove your valor on the battlefield. That's all just a taste of what is to come. We can't wait for you to experience the passion and care that our teams have poured into this game. We've got more surprises in store for you, to be revealed very soon.
In his name I will fight.
Zacnie. For the Emperor!
Pre-order the standard, gold or ultra editions and defend humanity on September 9th, when Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2 launches on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series and PC. Heed the call of war, for your craft is death.
Death. Tropico 6. Tropical Shores.
A sea breeze. Behold the floating mansion. A testament to tropical opulence and my ingenious financial management skills. A yellow submarine.
Yellow submarine.
Dolphin therapy to heal your bad mood. And shark therapy to remind you who's really in charge. A man is only as good as his yacht. And I have 3 of them. Excellent! More room for my many boats. A golden luxury yacht. Viva Tropico!
Pięknie. Industrial Drive.
Hey, this is Steve from Bleak Mill. Today we're showing you some early gameplay from our upcoming narrative FPS, Industria 2. In this scene, Nora discovers a group of Stasi agents in an old mine shaft.
What the hell are we waiting for? Well, when you gotta go, you gotta go. There you are.
No way. The Stasi have made it to Nordvold.
Good job we have these disruptors with us.
She can choose to engage directly and risk being overwhelmed, or she can observe her environment and use it to her advantage. The tripod in the center of the room wards off against nearby Atlas robots, but only whilst active.
Okay, let's hope this thing works.
Tłumiczek jest, spoko. To taki zestawik jak w The Forest, nie?
Oh shit, they're coming!
Spoko. Taki bardziej właśnie taka strzelanka, kurde. To sądziłem, że to taki bardziej horrorek jest, ale to chyba nie. PVKK? O, co to kurde jest? PVKK? O, symulator operatora gigantycznego działa obrony planetarnej twórców Dzięki. Czy taki Doomkeeper tylko bardziej czyta? Alice. Nie, to taki bardziej... Niby sobie jest większy, no to taki horrorowaty trochę, nie? Elementy, nie? X4 Timeless. Timelines, przepraszam. Linie czasu.
Bubble status green.
Welcome to the facility. How do you feel?
What is this facility? Where are we?
Where to begin? I have to tell you a story.
Many galaxies before.
No other way. Do it.
Do it! For mankind.
Who are these high-ups? Who controls this place?
These beings are clearly far beyond our understanding.
I'm worried. I think the facility is driving people apart.
God, they're jumping in right on top of us. Missiles incoming.
Commander gun to all ships. We have found a way to save humanity.
Impedance bubble status red.
It's decision time. Are you coming or not?
Bubble collapse imminent.
Find me in the dark.
Okej. pięknie. End Zone 2. Unbroken.
We've reclaimed what was lost. Planted seeds in barren soil. Coaxed life from the ashes. And drank from poisoned wells. It doesn't get any easier. It gets harder.
No, takie city builder taki bym, albo village builder. Post-apo. Okay.
Good luck.
Have fun. Ile chce się. Ferocious. Płatka, bierz go tam. Dobra płatka. A to taki szukaj. Tak. To jest shooter tak akcji. Indek, dinozaury. LOL? Okej. Strzelanki zawsze na propsie. Mamy na liście, więc gites. 2.5 dopiero wychodzi. Przynajmniej tak jest zaplanowane. Jeszcze mecha. Okej. Okej. Jadka niezła. Trochę to tak przypomina tego Far Cry'a, nie? Ferocious. Okay. Industry Giant 4.0. Znowu jakiś city builder. Co to, Truck Simulator? Okay. Commandos Origins. Oh yeah. Zdzierajączki. Kiedy? Jeszcze nie ma. W tym roku ma niby wyjść. Ale może tutaj dostaniemy? Jakąś datę? Ale klasyczek powraca. Tak jest. Dzida ci. I cyk, podrżnięte. Nożyk w plecki. Pięknie. Ja mam jeszcze ładne. 2-4 nadal. Morbid Metal. Co to jest? Roguelike, postapokalipsa, slasher, o. Okej. Uff. Pięknie. No bo to tak, taki goryl, nie? Jeszcze szala. Pięknie. Death Trash. Yeah. A fresh plate of meat. Welcome back, my child. They are sorted. Okay. Okay. Police Simulator Highway Patrol Expansion.
Brighton 75 News at 7 with live coverage about all you need to know. Breaking news in Brighton. Yesterday, the city mayor reopened the highway, which was unfortunately closed due to maintenance following a major accident some time ago.
That's right, Sharon. It was a horrific crash. But as we can see, traffic is flowing again. And the mayor of Brighton stated the following. We are very thrilled that our highway is accessible again for every Brightonian. It is now much easier to reconnect with everyone in the wider state of Franklin.
Very sad news from our local reporter, Donnie. Apparently, the downtown donut shop will be going out of business later this week due to a sprinkles shortage. The Brighton Police Department is monitoring the situation closely. You heard it first on Brighton 75 News.
Breaking news with a developing story. Apparently, a driver under the influence attempted to evade a traffic stop by the Brighton Police Department and is currently fleeing from the police.
We have live footage from the Brighton Highway. The suspect is driving a white car and is now breaching a roadblock. We will shortly return to this high-speed chase.
Coming up next here at Brighton 75 News, a fidget spinner smuggling crisis. The Brighton Police Department noticed a lot of illegally smuggled fidget spinners. Learn more about this news story shortly after 8 a.m. when we continue to send live coverage after a short break.
Police Simulator. Patrol officers, pick up the chase. Get ready for the Highway Patrol expansion.
Forest Hills, The Last Year. Okay, horrorek. Co to jest? Horror. A, team-based. A. To jest coś takiego, dobra. Okej. Beyond Good and Evil. 20. rocznica.
ago, your parents put you under my care. We came to Hillis. Back then, it was a peaceful planet. I had hoped to raise you there safely.
The war has arrived at the gates of Hillis. They're coming. This peaceful mining planet in System 4 is now completely encircled by the Dark Armada. General Dex
Can't go there, Jade.
If you want, I'll go alone.
Okay, we'll go together. But I'm sticking to you like bees on honey, whether you like it or not. Wow. A Rauco D-53. Free yourself, Jade. I'll create a diversion.
Quickly, Miss Jane. There still may be time.
Here we come, outer space.
O, nowy ekskluzywny content. O! To jest taki w sumie trochę remake, bym powiedział. Nie remaster.
I'll come back for you. Paige, you've been hiding this from me for the past 20 years.
Nieźle. Nieźle, 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 ale ludziska, dobrnęliśmy do końca dzisiejszego odcinka, także dzięki wielkie za oglądanie i widzimy się już w kolejnych.